right, recording in progress. Good morning and welcome to Gentle Yoga. So nice to see you all today. So I don't know if any of you had an opportunity to see my email. I'm just going to grab some water. Sorry, give me 1 second. I'm going to have it nearby in case I need it, which is good advice for you as well. So water and blocks or supplies, whatever you need. But I finally figured it all out. I was going to start a library of videos, and my daughter helped me put it together. So if you have any interest in revisiting a previous class that we've done, they're all categorized on the website by theme. And I'm going to continue to add them on. And if you ever want to, dabble in and do it on your own and pick a video from the past, it's now available. So it's kind of cool. So I thank my beautiful daughter for that. And we'll be adding this one to the list. So find yourself in Sukhasana. Today, I am going to be labeling this class and theming this class, a Sanskrit word called Pratipaksha Bhavana. And perhaps I will list it with that Sanskrit word as well as the English word. So Pratipaksha Bhavana means cultivating the opposite. Cultivating the opposite. So I often tell myself, or certainly my children, to flip the script, right? So that's like a really kind of catchy way of understanding the principles of Pratipaksha Bhavana, being able to flip the script, the script that's going on inside your head is really what I'm referring to, okay? So let's get started by closing our eyes, hands on the knees or the thighs, and then just start to tune inward. So sometimes flipping the script is simple, and sometimes it's really hard. Many of us think of it, welcome B, many of us think of it as the cup half full versus the cup half empty. So if you tend to be the half full person, maybe flipping the script skill is a little bit easier for you. Yeah. I'm going to invite you to bring your hands to your heart center, chin down to the chest. All right. And so perhaps during the time of the pandemic, I remember the most comforting flipping of the script that I did for myself was telling myself that I was not stuck at home, but I was safe at home. And perhaps now I can remind myself that I am safe out in the real world, right? You find yourself in a place of fear, and the thoughts that go through your head put you in a position where you might not do something that you probably could do. Knowing that you're making safe choices for yourself out there and certainly right here on the mat. And then lowering the hands down to the mat in front of you and just crawl yourself forward so we can let the hips and the spine get a little stretching this morning. And so not taking it to your furthest place, but just feeling the sensation that arises. Right? If you tend to be super flexible, then it might be easy for you to go in really deep. But I don't want you to take it to that deepest place, like incremental steps. Starting to lift the head up, walk your hands over to the left, And then folding yourself in over that left thigh, right? Again, not to your furthest point, but just feeling how is that right hip? How's the lower back? How's the shoulder? How's the head? How's the neck? Letting it grow step by step. And then walking yourself back through the center, this time coming up onto the tips of the fingers, right? So that you can hollow out the armpits, look forward, maybe getting a little more length, right? Incremental steps. Try to keep the sitting bones rooted and grounded. Take a big breath in. Exhale, lower the head down. See if you can feel that nice stretch across the armpits, the side body. And then soften here. Walk yourself over to the right and fold on in. Again, not the deepest or furthest place, but the place that feels good. Yeah. Take at least 2 or 3 more breaths there. And then walking back through center. Let's take a little bit more extension as far forward as those hands can go. Really lengthening, lift the head, look toward the fingertips. And then as you exhale, walk over to the left again, maybe a little further. Perhaps this time that right hand can come on top of the left hand. You really reach longer through the right arm. Gradual steps. Slowly walking back through center, stretching forward in the center, lifting the head, tending the hands, right? Coming up on those fingertips, hollowing out the armpits and the palms. Big breath in and exhale, walk to the right, a little further. Maybe left hand comes on top of right hand. Keep that left sitting bone grounded and rooted, really stretching through the left side of your body. Okay. And then with an inhalation, walk back through center and slowly walking the hands toward the body, rolling yourself up. Good, shoulders back and down, hands rest on the lap again. So I like to think about this incremental step, just like we have a sliding scale of sensation, right? We feel a little something happening in the body. Sensation is always present in yoga. And then maybe it feels a little more intense, and then it feels a little uncomfortable, right? And sometimes we push ourselves too much and we feel like we're going to cross that bridge into pain. We never want to get into that place of pain, but the steps, right? The incremental steps of sensation, kind of similar to my understanding of how we develop pratipaksha bhavana. So for example, if you had some really terrible thing done to you, like something that you feel like you were betrayed or you were hurt in some way, right? And it's not so easy to flip the script and just say like, okay, right, no big deal, I'm fine, whatever, right? It might take a really long time to bring yourself to a place where you can talk positively about something that's very dramatic that's happened to you in your life. Yeah. Bring your hands to your heart center once again. The willingness to the possibility, right, is really what this is about. Could I possibly forgive someone who has done something heinous to me? Can I possibly be willing to notice the opportunities for myself? Can I be willing to the possibility of perhaps obtaining a challenging posture? Now with your next inhale, bring your right arm up and your left arm down. Good. And then we're going to switch sides, bringing the arms forward as they pass each other. Inhale, left arm up and right arm down. Right? So flipping the script, little opposites here. All right. So getting that body in sync with the message. Inhale, arm down, arm up. So we're switching sides. Maybe that lower arm can reach back a little further. Inhale, sweeping, one up, one down and back. So let's take it a few times as we inhale and exhale, back and forth. So don't worry about your pace, just move with your breath. So good. Almost like you were marching. Nice. And then the next time you find that right arm up, we're going to lean the body into that left hand and take a nice side body stretch. And then inhale, come back up to center, lowering down the right, lifting the left, and leaning the body to the right. Good. And then we're just going to kind of go back and forth a few times, inhaling, switching, and exhaling, leaning. Inhaling, switching, and exhaling, leaning. Good. And then slowly coming back through center. Hands come to the floor. We forward fold again and walk the hands as far forward as you can. Let your tailbone start to lift up. See if you can lift that bottom up if you can. And maybe there's a possibility that you can roll right over those shins and come into a tabletop and go for it. If that is not available for you, just take this position any way that you can. All right. All right. So the wisdom is to look at our feelings honestly, and it's okay for it to take time to flip the script on difficult situations. All right. So let's kind of rock a little forward and back in our tabletop. Maybe you come all the way back to child's pose, but maybe you know that it takes a little time to get there. Right? See how it feels. Maybe as you come forward, you're coming toward that high cobra. And then the next time you bring the hips back toward the heels, let's stay there in child's pose. Maybe make the knees a little wider, give some space for your belly, let the head touch the floor. Just be willing to tune inward here. Is it possible that there's some kind of script going on in your head that's repetitive and not so positive, and that you can work on changing it? Walk the hands closer together, make the palms touch like Anjali Mudra, and then see if you can bend those elbows and bring the thumbs toward the back of the neck. You might want to find a little bit more stretch by walking the elbows forward and drawing the hips back, right? So nice stretch around the shoulder blade here. Two more breaths. And then slowly releasing the hands, right? Separating them shoulder distance. Reach them as far forward as you can. Lift your head up. Look forward. Lift the hips and rock the body as far forward as you can. Maybe adjusting those knees in a little closer. Seeing if you can take a good stretch for the belly in a high cobra pose, right? Don't force it if it's not available. Maybe you rock back and forth a few times. Good. And if you can, find yourself comfortable in this position, right? Gaze over your left shoulder. Good. Back to center, gaze over your right shoulder. Good. Back to center. Now tuck your toes under and see if you can disconnect your knees. Disconnect your knees. Yep, and then slowly push up and back into a nice bent knee, downward facing dog. All right, so not the fullest expression of down dog for starters, but maybe you start paddling out your feet, pressing opposite heels and knees, right? So left knee bends, right heel presses, maybe lean the hips to the left. And then hips come to center, right knee bends, left heel presses, and dip the hips to the right. So just kind of back and forth a few times. And then find your neutral, maybe starting to straighten through the legs a little more, activating. Let your head hang, fingers spread wide. See if you can have good equal measure in the use of hands and legs here. If any thoughts come through that are unkind to the self, can you flip the script? And then lift and elevate those heels, look forward, rock the body forward, and then start to lower the hips down, lower the knees down, right? Untuck the toes, you'll be back in that high cobra. Take a nice inhale. And as you exhale, bend those elbows and slowly lower the upper body down to the mat and forehead taps. Roll the shoulders away from the ears, right? Lengthen the back of the legs, right? Stretch those toes toward the back of the mat. And then with an inhale, lift the head and chest, a little cobra pose. And exhale, push back, child's pose. All right. One good breath here. Inhale. And exhale. And then inhale, lifting your body back up into tabletop. Reset your alignment. All right. We're going to extend that right leg straight back behind you. So remember that the wrists are below the shoulders, the left knee is below the left hip, and that right leg is extended, toes are on the mat. We can rock forward and back a few times. Good. All right. And then see if you can float that right leg up in the air, toes pointing down, and right hip and left hip in line with each other to the best of your ability. All right. So I know we were working a lot on balance just last week. So remember those keys to balance. Look down at the fingertips on the mat, particularly on the right hand. And then see if you can extend the left arm forward. Find that challenging spinal balance, right? The willingness to the possibility. Right? Sometimes it doesn't seem possible to forgive something that's so heinous. Yeah. Give me one more breath in and exhale. Lower the hand, lower the knee, round the spine into a kitty cat posture, chin to chest. Push back a little bit, hips slightly toward heels, spaciousness in the lower back. And then inhale, rock forward, tuck toes, lift head, lift chest, lift tailbone, take cow posture. And exhale one more time, kitty cat pose. Good. Inhale to neutral and left leg extends. All right, rock a little forward and back. And then find your stability here. Floating that left leg when you're ready, if you're ready, right? You could always keep that leg down, right? So it reminds me of when I took a recent aquafit class. I had hurt my right elbow by just banging it into something. Yeah, so I just did the dumbbells with my left. And a couple of times my mind kept going, ooh, they're gonna think I'm weak, right? How come she's only doing that? I was like, it's okay, right? I'm strong, I'm honoring my body. I flipped the script. See if you can extend that right arm forward, bicep muscle by the ear. Gaze down at the fingertips that are on the mat. Keep extending that left leg back behind you. Feel the balance and the strength, and make sure you're breathing well. Yeah, one more breath. And exhale, lower the hand, lower the knee, kitty cat pose, chin to chest, round and hunch. Maybe rock back a little bit. And then inhale, tuck toes, lift head, lift chest, lift tailbone. Good. And exhale, round and hunch one more time. Good. All right. Tuck toes under, neutral spine, lift hips, press back, downward facing dog. So a lot of times when we come to down dog from a tabletop posture, it ends up being a really short dog. So let's find our way into a better alignment by shifting into plank pose. So look forward. Yep. Rock the body forward into plank pose. Now, if you need to put your knees down, right, by all means do so. There is nothing gentle about plank pose. Right. So maybe you can flip your script, right? Not that you're weak, but that you are working on being strong and doing the best you can. Get a little puffy in the upper back. And if you need to put your knees down, you do it without feeling bad about it. One more breath in. And exhale, press back, downward facing dog. So good, so good. Paddle out the feet. Gorgeous. And then let's walk ourselves about halfway forward with the feet and then halfway back with the hands so that you find yourself in a forward fold in approximately the center of your mat. And then slowly, like a rag doll, soften the knees, let the arms dangle, maybe even jiggle the hands a little, and rolling up like one vertebra at a time, a slow sliding scale until eventually you come to standing. Good. Tadasana, mountain pose. Looking good. Shoulders back and down, feet, hips distance, right? Parallel. So good. All right. Now, with an inhalation, lift that right arm. I have to be that opposite of you. I'm going to adjust my camera here for a second. Lift that right arm up. Good. And then we're going to see if we can get some balance, get a little heavy in that right foot, right leg, and lift that left foot up. Doesn't have to go that high, right? So just like we did that sort of marching with only our arms when we were seated, we're going to do a little bit of marching here with our arms and our legs. But we're going to take our time. So slowly lower it down. Good. Inhale, left arm up and right leg up. Good. Lower down. Inhale, switch, right? Notice maybe as that lowered hand comes down, it can reach back behind you a little more. Good. And switch. How slow can you move? Let it build. Like it doesn't have to come to the highest or furthest point the first time you do it. So start marching. Move with your own breath. Move with your own pace. Right, breathing in as you rise up and out as you come down. In with the up and out with the down. So beautiful balance and beautiful movement. Good. All right, one more time on each side. Good, and lower yourself down, feet hips distance. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up. Good, exhale, arms come back behind you, interlace the fingers, right? Draw the knuckles back and down. Good, knit those ribs in really good and strong. Look over your right shoulder and draw the knuckles to the left. Good. Come back to center and look over your left shoulder and draw your knuckles to the right. Little twist here. Good. Inhale, come back to center. And now start to soften your knees here and begin to forward fold. So lead with the heart. Maybe the arms are resting on the lower back here or the tailbone. Right, and once you feel a connection with the belly to the thighs, you could start to let your head spill over. Maybe let the legs straighten a little bit, but do not lock them out, right? Don't go to your straightest point the first time here. Let it build in increments. Maybe the arms come up and away from the lower back, right? Squeeze the shoulder blades, let the head go. Good. Breath in. And breath out. All right, we're gonna soften the knees again, push down to rise up. Yeah, and once the crown of the head comes over the tailbone, release those arms. Inhale, sweep them out and up, Urdhva Hastasana. And exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Really good. All right, bring your fingers to your shins. Inhale, halfway lift up and lengthen. And exhale, fold. All right, so now we should be in the middle of our mat. So we're going to step the right foot back a few inches and the left foot forward a few inches. So this is a pyramid pose, if you're familiar with that stance, but I'll give a good description here. You want to have both of the feet flat, right? Both of the toes pointing forward, both of the legs straight. So if you need blocks here, right? Grab blocks. I'll give a little demo because blocks make it really much easier. If you have tight hamstrings and you cannot get a straight leg here, use blocks or something to prop up. Paper towel rolls work really well too. All right, good. Stable on your feet. Beautiful. And then come up onto the fingertips, whether those hands are on the floor or the blocks. Just lengthen the spine a little, look forward, don't go to your deepest place. Maybe, right? Maybe the knee is bent a little bit more. Give me one more breath in, and then exhale, fold. All right, strong in the core, strong in the foundation. Bring your hands to your hips and push down to rise on up, a nice flat back. And once the crown of the head comes over the tailbone again, reach the arms forward and up. Good. Maybe here you can lean back, even if just an inch or two. Good. Breath in and breath out. Beautiful. And this time, keeping those arms up, framing around the head. Take one more breath in. Exhale, hinge forward, gaze down toward the mat. See if you can hover at a halfway point, right? So nice flat back, square hips. Oh, yes. Can you be willing, the willingness to the possibility of success? Yeah, one more breath. Lowering down those hands, right? Softening that left knee. Beautiful. And then step that right foot up to meet the left. So they're equal stance, hips distance, fingers come to the shins. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Chin toward chest. Good. So we're going to roll up like a rag doll again. So soften the knees, let the arms dangle, feel that slow sensation. Pull up from the pit of the belly, the arms are hanging, the head is hanging. And it's like each vertebra is stacking, stacking, stacking till eventually, oh, shoulders go back and down, crown of head stacked over the tailbone. Good. Tadasana, mountain pose. You girls look gorgeous. On your next inhale, reach the arms up. Maybe a little standing back bend if it feels good. And then bringing the arms down by your side, back behind you. Interlace the fingers again. Maybe keeping a little basket or maybe trying to get the palms or the wrist creases to touch. Look over your right shoulder, draw the knuckles to the left. A little bit of a twist here. Inhale, center. Exhale, look over your left shoulder, draw the knuckles to the right. Maybe you twist further than you did the first time. Yeah. Inhale, come to center. Exhale, soften the knees, lead with the heart, coming into that forward fold. Maybe the hands are staying on the lower back again, or maybe you lifting them up and away. Eventually forward folding and working toward a straight leg, right? Never wanted to just dive in, right? So incremental steps is like the opposite of like a polar bear club when they just jump in the ice cold water. Draw the shoulders away from the ears, let the head hang. Good. All right, we're going to rise up the same way we came in. Soften the knees, lift the head, slowly coming back to standing. When the head is over the tailbone, release the arms. Inhale, reach them up. Good, leaning back a little. Beautiful. And then exhale, swan dive, forward fold. We're going to step back with that left foot. If we need to step a little forward with the right, we're finding that pyramid pose again. Toes pointing forward, right? Feet flat. And, you know, a straight leg to the best of your ability with blocks if you need them, right? So don't lock it out. Don't go to that furthest place. Come up on the fingertips, lengthen, breathe, feel grounded here. Good. And then see if you can bring those hands to the hips, pushing down into both feet, flat back, rise on up, nice and slowly. Good. Once you're on those 2 feet in a standing position, reach the arms up, maybe leaning back a little. So good. All right. Work on keeping those arms framing around the head, bicep muscles by the ears. Big breath in. Exhale, hinge, flat back, gaze down toward the right toes, lower to a hover, right? Just be willing to the possibility that you can hold here with a nice flat back, strong breath. Good. When you are ready, slowly lower the hands down to the floor or the blocks, chin to chest. Good. Breath in and breath out. Good. Lift the head up, soften that right knee, and step that left foot forward, feet hips distance. Good. All right, we're going to this time rise up with a reverse swan dive. So sweep the arms out and rise on up. Good. And exhale, hands to the heart. Beautiful. Good. Hands to the hips. Okay. Now step your right foot forward and your left foot back. Nice and long. This time we're taking a warrior 1 stance. Right, so squaring off the hips, bend nice and deep into that right knee. And take your time, right? Not coming to that furthest point, the first warrior posture you do. Maybe you bring your hands to your ribs and you kind of turn the shoulders or the chest plate toward the front of the mat, squaring off those shoulders over the hips. With an inhalation, sweep the arms up. Good. And with an exhalation, bring the arms out like wings. Bend those elbows, cactus arms. Good. Look to the right and see if you can just pivot and twist a little bit to the right. You're not going to go that far, right? With the stationary position of that back leg, you're not going to twist that far. Just be willing to take it slow. Big inhale, big exhale. All right. Come back through the center. Arms come down by your side. Interlace the fingers back behind you again. Squeeze the shoulder blades. This time, lift the heart, lean back. Maybe those knuckles can draw down the back of that leg a little bit. Big inhale. Good, and as you exhale, I'm going to start to hinge forward, right? Bringing that belly toward the right thigh, bringing the chest toward the right knee, and then letting the head spill over. You can keep those hands on the lower back, right? Work on letting the head spill over, right? Maybe even arms come a little bit away from the back, draw the shoulders down the back, yeah? Ooh, humble warrior. Yeah. The need to be humble in many situations in life. All right, we're going to push down to rise up. So push down, breathe in. Once the head is over the tailbone, release the arms out and up. So well done. Hands come down to the floor. Let them frame that right foot. Lift that left heel up and step that left foot forward, forward fold at the front of your mat. Well done. Fingers on your shins. Inhale, lift up and lengthen. And exhale, fold. All right, reverse swan dive. Sweep the arms out. Rise on up. Gather up all that goodness and draw it to the heart. I think sometimes when situations in our lives are difficult, like something tragic, right? Some big kind of grief or despair or betrayal, we tend to bury it, right? Keep that anger, keep that bitterness, and it doesn't serve us to do so. Can we flip the script slowly in time, right? Just to practice this idea, this willingness that I can forgive. I can be in a good, positive place, even if it takes time. On an inhale, reach the arms up. Good. Exhale, arms come out like wings, come to the hips, and we're going to step that right foot back long into a warrior one stance. Square off those hips. Square off the shoulders, bend nice and deep into that left knee, right? Right, make sure that those feet are hips distance. Right toes are kind of pointing out on an angle. Left toes are pointing forward. Beautiful. Reach those arms forward and up. Virabhadrasana 1. Good. And then arms come out like wings. Bend the elbows like a cactus arm. Good. Take a nice inhale. Look to the left and then pivot and twist, right? You're not going to go that far. The physical anatomy of the body does not let it go that far. I want you taking it slow. Right? It's like the incremental steps to get from despair to joy. How do we do that? Practice. One more breath. Slowly coming back through center. Arms come back behind you. We interlace the fingers. Right, warrior one on the base and a nice bind of those fingers behind the lower back, shoulder blades drawing down the back. Lead with your heart, making it to humble warrior. Take a good inhale. Exhale, hinge forward slowly, belly to thigh, shoulder toward knee, head spills over, arms lift up and away, maybe an inch or two. Let it build slowly. Keep rooting into the outer edge of that right foot, grounding the big toe mound on the left. So good. All right, now we're gonna push down to rise up. Push down, rise up. Woo. Once you do, release the arms. Inhale up, warrior one. Good, and exhale, hands come down to frame that left foot. Well done. Right foot steps up to meet the left, forward fold. Good. All right, grab opposite elbows here, please. And then see if it's possible to heel toe your feet together a little closer, right? They don't have to touch, but maybe they come a little closer together. And then keeping those arms around, framed around the head, bend those elbows, right? I'm sorry, bend those knees, drop the bottom down, lift the head a little bit, lift the torso, try to get a flat back here. Think about hovering, it's like chair pose. And then maybe torso comes up a little higher. Woo, incremental steps, take your time. Big breath in, exhale, forward fold again, release the elbows, maybe straighten the legs, right? After doing chair pose, it kind of feels good to straighten the legs. All right, we're going to take it a couple more times. So grab opposite elbows and then switch the grab, right? So if that left forearm is in front, make the right one in front, switch it to the opposite side, flip your script. All right, frame the head, bicep muscles by the ears, bend the knees, drop the bottom, start to peel the belly away, lift up, hover in a little maybe part way position, make sure you're breathing. Keep the knees bent, lifting the head and chest up into more of a chair pose shape. Oh yeah, how's your breath? Good, and exhale, slowly, slowly, forward fold, release the elbows and straighten through the knees. Good, fingers to shins, halfway lift and lengthen. Exhale, fold. Good, sweep the arms out, rise on up. Good, and hands come to the heart. Good, hands to the hips. And now see if you can get those toes together to touch. I'm going to turn this way for, I think, a better view. All right, good. Hands come to heart center. We're going to bend our knees, drop our bottom, come into a chair pose with Anjali Mudra, right? So legs nice and strong. Good. Look over your left shoulder and then twist the body to the left. See if you can maybe bring that right elbow to the outside of that left thigh. Yeah. Pressing into the palms, looking up over the left shoulder. Woo, yes. Willingness to the possibility. Drop the bottom a little more, lift the heart up a little more. Take your time, baby steps. One more breath. And exhale, looking down, forward fold, hands down toward the floor or the blocks. Good. Soften the knees, sweep the arms out and rise on up. Breathe in. Maybe a little back bend stretch here. Good. And exhale, hands to the heart. And put a little smile on your face, because I know you know that what we do on one side, we're going to do on the other, right? So flip your script. I got this, right? Not this is hard, right? Or, oh my goodness, right? Impossible. Maybe it is really obtainable to whatever degree is available. Bend your knees, drop your bottom, right? Sit down in your chair, keep those palms pressing, right? Good. Look over the right shoulder, big breath in, and then twist the body toward the right. So you can get that left elbow to the outside of the right thigh, pressing palms, looking up over that right shoulder, and chair twist. Breath in, breath out. One more. And then look down, release, forward fold, let the arms go, let the head go, straighten through the legs. Good. Sweep the arms out to the sides. Inhale and rise on up. And exhale, hands to the heart. All right, we're going to revisit that once again. So practice, 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 right? This is like something that never just goes away. It's sort of like a diet, right? Go on a diet, follow a diet to lose weight, and then you get to where you want to be, and then you stop the diet, and then you gain it all back, right? So you have to eat healthy, mindfully, right? All of the time, or at least most of the time. Take a big breath in. Exhale, bend those knees, drop the bottom. This time we're going to try to get lower. See if you can get your pinky fingers to your knees, right? Pinky fingers to the knees. So you're really squatting down. Good. Look over the left shoulder. Lift up that right elbow and wrap it around toward the outside of the left thigh. Press the palms together and twist. Look up and over that left shoulder. Keep dropping the bottom down and opening the heart up. So gorgeous. Breath in and breath out. Look down and release into a forward fold. Good. Inhale, sweep the arms out, rise on up. And exhale, hands to the heart, pause and samastitihi, equal standing posture. Good, smile again. We're taking it to the other side, big breath in. Exhale, bend those knees, drop the bottom, get really low, lower than you did the first time. See if maybe those pinkies can actually touch the knees. Look over that right shoulder, big breath in. Lift up that left elbow and sweep it around to the outside of that right thigh. Press palms together and rotate, twist. Breath in and breath out. You got this. One more inhale. And exhale, look down and let it go. Forward fold. Inhale, sweep the arms out and rise on up. And exhale, hands to the heart. Good. Hands down by your side. Heel toe the feet, maybe a click or two so they're hips distance apart. Good. Hands on the lower back, right? Fingers pointing down. So maybe you can just feel almost where the tailbone begins. And then we're going to trace the backs of the legs as we forward fold. Take a big breath in and exhale, soft knees. Hands go across the tush, the back of the thighs, the back of the knees, the back of the calves, maybe all the way to the ankles or the heels if that's available. And then release the hands to the floor and step yourself back into a downward facing dog. And you can always take table sooner if you need it. We're going there in one more breath. Big inhale. Big exhale. Look forward. Lower knees down. Release hips to heels. Come into child's pose. Two more breaths. And then when you're ready, lift your head up and hips off to one side. Sweep your legs around to the front. And we will make our way onto our backs. If you need a sip of water, this is a really good time to have one. I think I'm going to do that for myself. Nicely done. All right. As you lay on down, remind yourself that the real wisdom in this practice is to look at your feelings honestly. Yeah. And when you arrive down on the back, come into conscious resting pose, knees bent, feet on the floor, hands on the belly. Just take a couple of good breaths here. Then walk the feet toward each other, let the knees open wide. And then release the arms up and over the head, bend those elbows, frame the head once again. And 2 more breaths. All right, Pratipaksha Bhavana. We're going to switch the hold of the elbow. So whichever forearm is in front, switch the hold. Let the elbows go back up and over the head. You notice that sensation in the flip. And keeping the arms where they are, use the inseams of the legs and the core to bring those knees back and up together. Good. Lift that right leg up, cross it over the left, knee over knee. Good. And then see if it's possible to let your knees relax over to the left, right? And then if you feel like this is way too intense on the shoulders, I recommend releasing the elbow hold, turn the head to the right and bring the arms out, either like a V shape or maybe like wings, or maybe you keep it with that bind on the elbows. Nice supine twist. And then also if this feels too intense, you could always have a stacked knee instead of a crossed knee. And winding down, 2 more breaths. Slowly head, knees and hips come back to the center. Good. Arms come down by your side, uncross the legs. Just pause in neutral, conscious resting pose again. Good. Be here, be now. Feel that neutralizing. And we're going to take it to the other side. Inhale, arms reach up, bend those elbows. Maybe you start with the default. We just did the opposite there, right? Taking that left leg, crossing it over knee, big breath in. And exhale, let the knees and hips relax to the right. And turning the head to the left. All right, so you can stay here, or if it's too intense on those arms and shoulders, release the elbow hold, come out to a big V or a T shape. And breathe well. And then slowly, head, knees, and hips come back to center. Arms come down by your side and cross the legs. Pause here, conscious resting pose. And then bring your hands back to your belly. Before we come into Shavasana, I want to do a little mental exercise. So remember, we talked about that glass half full or glass half empty concept. I want you to imagine a glass that it is completely empty. It's not half full or half empty or full at all. It is completely empty. So picture any kind of glass that you want. Could be a regular drinking water glass. Maybe it's a wine glass or a mug, any kind of something that's empty that you can fill up. And I want you to take 3 things that you are grateful for mentally, one at a time, not in any priority order. Just fill those 3 things into your glass. And then after those 3 things are in there, I want you to continue to add more things that you're grateful for. It could be the littlest thing, like your favorite ice cream flavor, or the biggest thing, like perhaps your family or relationship or your health. Just add one at a time, watching your cup fill up. You could continue filling your cup way past that halfway mark, right? Way past that half full or half empty mark. Perhaps it gets to the point where it's so full it starts to overflow. When you feel ready, you can straighten your legs down your mat, make your feet wider than your hips. Bring the arms down by your sides and turn the palms to face upward. Really surrender here for this few moments of final resting posture. Prati Paksha Bhavana. Right? Flipping that script or cultivating the opposite. Allow yourself to observe your body breathing naturally. You're holding on to this beautiful stillness. I want you to begin the movement of the fingers and the toes. And then start to deepen your breath. Maybe move ankles or wrists. Take your time. Eventually bending the knees, feet come to the floor, rocking your body over into your favorite side. And as you make your way back to seated, bring that cup with you. That mental cup that you filled up. Bring your hands to your heart center, that gratitude cup right at the center of your heart. So we filled that cup slowly. We started with 3 things and then one thing at a time, filling, filling, filling. Maybe there's still more that you can fill it with. Incremental steps it takes to get right from point A to point B. It's not instantaneous. Om Shanti, 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 He. Om peace, peace, peace. May this practice always be a source of peace for each one of you. And know that you have the ability to cultivate the opposite if you are willing to the possibility. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Wishing you a wonderful day. Namaste.
Thank you, Amy.
My pleasure.